How's it going, guys? Coffee here. Today I wanted to go over the reveal for the new Torchlight Infinite Season Overrrealm, which launches on October 10th. And first, let's go over the new league mechanic itself. This is the Overrrealm mechanic, and this is a new mechanic that will spawn in all maps to where it will open a portal that you can go inside of, and this will be a timed portal for you to kill as much as you can, and if you kill enough to meet the threshold, it will send you into another portal that sends you deeper and deeper into the mechanic itself. At each level that you get through, you will be obtaining additional rewards for the floors afterwards. So if you're familiar with something like Abyss or Breach from PoE, this is going to be very similar to that. This does have a skill tree associated with it as well, that as you continue to do the mechanic, you will unlock more and more loot, as well as the ability to progress deeper and deeper into the Overrrealm. What that means is that you will be getting additional loot. As you can see here, you'll be getting additional loot depending on the deeper you go, and as you stack these, obviously, this increases the loot that you're going to get, so you'll be getting significantly larger loot explosions as these all come out, and these are most likely going to stack with the multipliers that we are already getting from our bonuses from, say, Profound versus Deep Space or whatnot as well. Along with this, there is some new special items that are coming from this. But let's go ahead and jump into the new character release that is coming out. There is a new Bing who utilizes, instead of utilizing the mines that the prior Bing uses, this new Bing, Creative Genius, is using a couple of robots that will assist and synergize with using Spell Burst. So the kit itself provides maximum Spell Burst. So if we actually look here, we can actually look at his kit here. He does provide additional max spell burst, and then each step of the way you have multiple choices for you or how you want to go ahead and build him. So at level 45, you will get multiple options here for what you can choose. You can choose again either Supersonic Protocol or Inspiration Overflow, and then at level 60 you have three choices, or you have six choices rather, and you get to choose between you end up getting to choose 2 out of the 5 out of these. So it's really, really nice. They add a lot of flexibility here. Hopefully they end up doing a pass on all the heroes and doing this kind of flexibility choice again. I know they kind of shied away from this a little bit. They wanted to remove the complexity a bit first, but it seems like they're moving back towards that. They know that people are kind of ready to be able to handle this kind of choices. But all in all, the kit looks like it is going to synergize pretty well. Again, it's built for spell burst and built for spells, and it looks like it's actually going to be really, really fun. So just having the choice of how exactly you want to build it is going to lead to a lot of different build opportunities. And for things of how you kind of want to go ahead and build him, if you're familiar with kind of like skitterbots from Path of Exile, these are going to work in a similar way, where one of them, the bot will trigger basically every time you cast a spell yourself, and the other bot will trigger itself when you either hit the button, or there's one of the traits you can set that will just make it automatically trigger by itself. So the whole thing is just going to be built up, these additional kind of automations and basically additional damage that will trigger by itself on top of you just doing your initial damage. So as you can see here, quite big explosions from him, pretty nice clear. There's going to be a lot of different ways to build him and a lot of creative freedom that people have with this. It does mean that spell burst gear is most likely going to be extremely expensive, but if you're willing to go down that path, then it looks like the character is going to be a ton of fun, and we'll have a lot of freedom of choice on kind of how we want to build it and whatever skill we want to use. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. The other thing they're adding to the game, which is very, very big, are these new items here, which are called I don't even remember what they're called exactly, but they are called these things. They function similarly to Timeless Jewels from Path of Exile. I guess they're called Ethereal Prisms here. And what they do is they modify the talent tree. So as you can see here, they have a talent tree range on them. They replace one node entirely, and then they add special effects depending on what they roll to other things as well. So they're adding extra bonuses to your major talent choices, and then they are offering replacement effects for specific nodes. As you can see, this one here gives you 1,000 energy at the cost of replacing one node here. That's obviously really strong. It doesn't mean you're going to basically be 6-linking everything on your gear. It's probably going to be extremely expensive, but you can see they're adding some very, very powerful effects in this, which is going to give us a ton of freedom and flexibility to build our characters, and a ton of choices and lots of fun ways to min-max our characters. Part of adding these and adding this much power to a specific mechanic, the candle system has been removed and replaced entirely. Eterna still exists, but it now is purely for dropping basically just loot, and it's going to focus on basically trying to be the best source of getting embers. So anything related to candles is gone. But what that means is they are offering a special benefit to be able to exchange your packed spirits for other ones if that's what you want to do. For those that don't want to do Eterna with the changes that are coming to it. The other thing they are adding to the game here is they are adding combo skills. So they're adding new skills that are going to synergize with others, that basically you'll have something that is your builder and something that is your spender, that's your combo skill. So these should be really, really interesting. Hoping they're adding these for more than just attack skills, but it does seem they did kind of tease that they're going to be releasing most likely like a monk class at some point in the future, probably next season. So that should be interesting and really cool. And as you can see here, this is some of the footage here showing the combo skills on a Erica here. So it'll be interesting to see how these actually play out and if they are any good. The other new thing they're adding here is they did do a pass on some of the new Kismets. So they did add Kismets for the new combo system as well. So they are trying to build into this. And then they made some adjustments to the systems for Fortitude, as well as some of the systems for, they added something similar to Unnerve and Intimidate from Path of Exile. So where you can get additional damage taken for the enemy for either spells or attacks. They're also adding similar to basically Exposure from Path of Exile right here, where this increases fire damage taken or increases cold, lightning, etc. They're adding those. One of the other big changes they are making is they are buffing Affliction effect everywhere, and they are adding some additional sources here to do some new things with Reap. So it looks like they're trying to push damage over time builds pretty hard this league. So a lot of stuff is being buffed and pushed. So it's going to be interesting to see, I guess, what ends up leading out ahead, because they are kind of trying to push things a lot, and we'll have to go over the pouch notes, which I'll go over in another video, to kind of really deep dive into everything and then be able to get a tier list out of everything based off of that. So there's going to be quite a few new uniques as usual. And then they are also adjusting some really, really big things in regards to doing dream crafting as well as normal crafting. So dream crafting, they are making it easier to get the curse on hit rings. They are making those mods significantly easier to hit. Right now, the rates on hitting them are so low, it's basically not worth ever trying to hit them yourself. You always want to just buy the base, because the odds of hitting the one you're looking for is so low that it's always better off. You're just better off buying a base and crafting it that way. So they are also making the cost of crafting basically cut in half for gear that is not priceless. So the number of embers that are required for crafting tier 1 mods on non-priceless gear has been halved to where it is using 5 embers instead of 10. With last league, the ember cost was the most significant portion of the cost of crafting, more so than the actual FE itself, because embers were so scarce. So this change should be really, really big. Hopefully the Eterna change means that there's actually quite a bit more embers on the market as well, but we're going to have to test that to find out. They are making some adjustments to Spell Burst. They did unnerf Play Safe, or they've buffed it rather, so there's no downside on this anymore. It doesn't affect your non-Spell Bursted casts anymore, which is a huge buff for Spell Burst. And then they have made some adjustments to some of the Spell Burst items as well. Solid River has changed a little bit here. So they've added some additional changes for that, as well as for the Barrier necklace has changed as well, to where the downsides have been kind of removed from that as well. So they're making a lot of positive changes that they're trying to go for, and they are just trying to make the game feel better. So they made some adjustments to leap attack as well, to where if you are doing a short distance leap, the attack speed will be faster, as you can see here, and for a longer leap it will go further. So before, if you were ended up doing a tiny leap or you got stuck on a pedal, it would be a really, really long leap and you wouldn't go very far. They've added sliding as well, to where it doesn't get stuck on an individual object. It will kind of slide around it now. And then again, they've made these adjustments to some other key uniques as well. The other thing, they have made some adjustments again here to try to push us into getting into Profound a little bit easier. They've adjusted the defenses to where it's a little bit easier to craft defenses on gear, as well as the costs were down, as I mentioned before. They have added the Outlaw mechanic. As requested, they've adjusted it so the time taken to actually run the mechanic itself is significantly lower. I believe it's 25 seconds now instead of 35 or whatever it may have been. And then they've made it to where the invulnerability time that the bodyguards had is significantly lower as well. So it'll help make sure this feels good. And then you no longer have the tower coin currency requirements in order to upgrade your crime rating. So that was a really, really big grind last season, and that's been removed entirely. So now you can just basically level this up by just doing the mechanic. They've also made some adjustments to compasses so that these are going to be significantly easier to get, and added basically a lot of non-legendary compasses. Basically, rare compasses have been added back again to try to make them more affordable and try to push people into doing some different strategies than what's been used before. They made some adjustments to the hot streak features as well. So before, if you failed this for trying to change the corrosion base, it would actually delete the item entirely, and now it will just remove the base corruption if it fails instead of deleting the item. So a little bit safer to gamble with this, and just a little bit easier. And then same thing goes, they've adjusted the compasses here and changed them. They've added the old features to make them a little bit they've lowered the diff or the rarity on those, I guess. Most likely that means they've lowered the loot as well. And they've added some new high-end compasses for both God of Might and for God of Machines here. So it should be something new, a new meta, and some new things for people to do for the Netherrealm itself. They've made some additional changes to the void chart as well. So there's going to be a lot of things to play with and a lot of new things, but that pretty much covers the majority of it. And yeah, I think we covered this as well with Eterna basically being changed to being focused on embers. They have made some adjustments to the trade post as well, so that it will not show items that have already sold as much. It's going to update much more frequently, so it's not all cluttered up with a bunch of items that have been sold, so we can actually see what is coming out. They've also made some adjustments to the sound, minor quality of life updates, things like that. One of the biggest features they are adding is they're actually adding a new player, basically free items here. So they're adding some basically free legendary pack spirits for just signing in for 7 days, and free battle pack spirit pulls, things like that, to help kind of bridge that gap for new players. And then one of the biggest ones they are actually adding in here is they're actually adding a new activation medium that all players will get as soon as they finish the campaign. I don't remember the item for the exact item for it, but it is an activation medium that will basically work as soon as you are standing still, and it will allow you to basically get you'll have an activation medium that will work for both attacks and spells, and it will allow you to kind of jump into having an activation medium right after the campaign, which will feel a lot better, because the current stuff right now is, again, activation mediums have been quite a big roadblock for a lot of people and a lot of stuff, but this is going to help us kind of jump right in and not be held back so much for the builds that do kind of require an activation medium of some sort. So you know what, I bet it's on TLIDB. Let's go find it here. So For the Overrrealm season, let's see here. Items. Let's go. Where's the items? Overrrealm season. Skills. Items. Are they considered items or skills? I guess it might be under here. Activation media motionless here. As you can see, this will automatically cast a supported skill at the nearest enemy within 25 meters while standing still. It doesn't give us the cooldown, so I presume it'll probably just have whatever the base cooldown is for something. So we're going to have to put this test and see what it does. So see how quickly it will cast it. I'm not really sure what the actual internal cooldown is. It doesn't say. So we're going to have to look it up and test it. But all in all, that seems really, really good. Very, very helpful. You are actually considered to be standing still, again, for at least a split second every time you blink. So if you want to just be able to blink around and have it cast in between every blink, that's going to be something you can do. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. And other than that, see you in the next one.